Hello everyone, this is OhmekoOcampo, and today I will be following up my previous presentation on Arduino Uno with an Arduino tutorial. Really getting your feet wet in how you can actually program on Arduino and how easy it is. So today I will be presenting uh, one of the projects in the Arduino projects book, the keyboard instrument project. It's a really fun project. You actually build a simple piano. So sit back, relax, and let's do this thing. Okay, first, before we start the project, just want to give you a little bit of a roadmap as to where we're going. So the very first thing we're going to have to do is, of course, set up your computer for the Arduino. So there's going to be some things that you would need to actually get your computer to work with the Arduino. So that typically just means downloading the IDE from arduino.org. So that's really simple. And finally, choosing a project. So when you do Arduino, you can either build a project from scratch, from yourself, by yourself. So you just have to think about it, use some electrical skills that you may have, or pretty much look it up around the internet. But since this is mainly a beginner's introduction, we're going to actually be using the Arduino projects book to actually choose our project. And in this case, we're going to be choosing the um, piano project. And finally, once you chose a project, whether it be from the internet or from a prefab project in a book, you're going to start building the circuit. So that's one part of the project, is to actually build the circuit. So that one isn't actually too hard if you have some kind of schematic with you, but if you're going to be building it from scratch, you're going to probably be doing it from a whiteboard first or a piece of paper just to make sure um, everything's okay. You know, do some math, do some Kirchhoff's voltage law, do some KCL, um, figure out whether the voltage at one point is what you expect it to be, that sort of thing. And after that, uh, building the circuit, you now need the software for your project. Depending on the project, but most of the time there's a mishmash of both software and hardware for Arduino. It just depends. And in this case, we're going to be using some code. So uh, whether you have something prefabricated um, uh, from a book or you made your own code, you're all going to put it through the IDE that we're going to download pretty soon. Then after that, it's just a matter of just uploading the sketch. That's what you call a program in the IDE for Arduino, and downloading it into the Arduino Uno. And if you did everything correctly, then you should be able to have a working project. All right, let's get started. Okay, so before we start actually setting up the computer for Arduino, I just want to take this time to just show you where you can find an Arduino kit, because I've also had other friends that ask me, okay, Miko, what's the best place or what's the best Arduino kit to start off with? Well, I like to just go to Amazon and just type Arduino kit. And as far as my kit is concerned, I actually use this one, or this one. Elegoo is really good. The They really give you more than what you ask for. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's set up Arduino for this computer. So the very first thing you got to do is type arduino.org/download. OK. And then it's going to take you to this site. And what you want to do is just click arduino.cc. Then you scroll down, scrolling down, and looks like it's okay. Here it is. It kind of changed. Okay, now go to downloads, and then what you want is not the web editor, but the actual IDE. So this is what you want. So in my case, I have Mac OS X. So you just click this. And then it should. Okay, so this one is if you want to donate to the Arduino Software Fund. In this case, just click just download. Oh, okay. It's actually downloading. Alright, so I'm going to stop the video here and just wait for this to download. Okay, I am back. So it has downloaded, so all I have to do is unzip it. And we're going to install the software. This is really pretty simple. Once you install this one, it's pretty much smooth sailing from here on out. So here it is, Arduino. You just double click it. And there you go. That's it. We're initializing the packages, and pretty much this is set to good to go. And there we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it just starts up. It gives you a blank sketch, and then you can put up your code here in setup and in loop, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so we're gonna go back to this after we actually build the circuit. Okay, so now we're gonna build the circuit of our project. So the first thing we're gonna do is pull up the actual Arduino projects book. So I have a PDF copy of it right here. And so this is the keyboard instrument. So with a few resistors and buttons, you're going to build a small musical keyboard. 45 minutes. Okay, well, it's not going to take 45 minutes. We're not going to read through all this. I'm just going to show you the finished product, walking you through the whole thing. But it's not going to take 45 minutes. 45 minutes including reading all this stuff. So pretty much this is the circuit we're going to build, and I'm actually going to film myself building the circuit on the Arduino. So this is what we're going to build. And this is what it looks like, another schematic. And some more stuff here. Details. So you can also decorate it too. And this presentation, I'm not going to actually decorate it. And then this will be later. Okay, let's go build that circuit. Okay, so here I have the actual physical book, and you can see that just like the PDF, you get all the same stuff here. So we're gonna need, according to the schematic, we're gonna need, for the skip it. Yeah, okay. We're gonna need 4 switches, 4 buttons, 4 button switches, piezo meter, and some wires to connect everything together, and some resistors, and they're right here. So you need a 10k ohm, a 1 meg ohm, and a 220 ohm resistor. So this is a pretty simple project. Really, the most difficult part is really just the coding. Alright, so I'm just gonna open this bag here and reveal the resistor. So our 1 meg ohm. So I already did this ahead of time. I have a resistor kit. So you got your 10k ohm and your 220k ohm. All right. Okay, so I got the switches, the little buttons, and those are also part of the kit that I showed you earlier on Amazon. So they're all these are part of that kit. So you really can't go wrong. So in this case, what we're gonna just do is just follow these schematic. So here you can see you're gonna have to put these buttons over here. So this is typically on a breadboard, you put your ICs here. So just a little bit of review. So here in the breadboard, we know that this line right here, all these holes here are connected electrically. So this is row by row. Here is by column. So this is like this is your power rails over here. Okay, so essentially what we're just gonna do is just follow that schematic here. So just gonna plug this in like this. So this is, I'm just gonna use the switches just to show you how you would put things on a breadboard. It's kind of difficult with the other ones, the wiring. So holding a cell phone and so alright, there you go, I spaced it out correctly. And for the resistors, you're just gonna have to trust me on that one. It's just would be really difficult for me to do that while holding a phone. So, alright, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Alright, cool. At least I showed that to you. And here's the piezo meter. You want to put that here, like so. There you go. Alright. I will be back with a fully done circuit. You can just read it. I'll have a link to this PDF on the discussion board so that you can actually see it. Okay, so here it is. This is the finished circuit. This is in real time, so if I made a mistake, we're gonna find out if I really we're gonna find out really fast if I made a mistake, because once we export the code, I mean, to this board, then it's not gonna sound like a piano. So in this case, let's just do a little walkthrough. We can see these 4 switches are connected. So we can see that this switch is getting a voltage from this rail, this power positive supply rail. And so we look and we see it's 5 volts. Oh, in this case, no, that's actually the ground. So see how hard it could be sometimes, especially if the circuits get really complicated. In this case, this is ground, so that's the ground.
and this green wire here is supplying 5 volts to this circuit. So all these resistors that are connected to this rail are getting 5 volts, including this switch. And so there's going to be some voltage division here among these switches and these resistors. And that voltage difference is essentially, aside from the actual wave that we're going to be putting into here from the Arduino board, is what causes the different tones. And this is the piezo meter, which will actually create those tones. So how this works is that it actually pushes air, it vibrates really fast. Alright, so that's about it. There's other ports here that we used. This is the 8. This is the digital pin PWM, pulse width modulation. So this is the one that's actually going to send a wave here so we can modulate and make different sounds. I'm just saying that the voltage division here is part of what makes that happen, because there's going to be some voltage in one part of the circuit and there's going to be some other voltage in another part because of this division. And what else do we have here? A0. So this is the analog in. Alright, so let's see what happens. So the next thing would be actually coding the project. Let's go back to our computer.
Okay, so the next part is to actually code the project. So for this part, we're going to have to open up our IDE, Arduino IDE, and go back to the book, the projects book. And if you scroll down, you can see that there is some code here. So now I'm not going to bother reading this. I'm actually just going to put this as a link in my presentation slides. I'm just going to type up the code and show you how it's put together. Okay, so in the book, what they do is they kind of describe the code a little bit beforehand, all the different functions you'll be using, like say setup. So begin serial communication is setup, and then loop, which you're going to be putting in this loop structure, and then serial print line to send to the computer, and then of course your if-else statements. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is actually put some variables in here. So in this case, we're just going to put it here, int button 6, int button 0 and 6. Okay, semicolons. Remember, this is a C based language at the end, so you have to terminate it. You have to terminate statements with a, so essentially with a semicolon. So essentially we have our variables here, and we also have an array, int notes array. So, and that's gonna be initialized to 262 294 3330 and 349. All right, there we go. So that's there, and we terminate. I believe that's correct. Okay. Now, next would be setup. Setup, we have serial begin, so this is going to be the one that's going to be sending our signal, I believe. Because each switch has a different resistor value connecting it to power, each will have a different value associated. To see the values, add the line serial print line. And serial begin, serial, as I said before, should be, yeah, it's still, okay. Serial dot begin line 600. Okay, so I believe that's the bit rate. All right, that's good. Now loop. So in the loop function, you have int key val is equal to analog read A0. Then serial print line key val. Right, and then we have an if statement. So if key val is equivalent to 1023, we want the tone. So this one is actually going to be the one that's sending. So this is actually the rate at which the information is sent, and this is actually the tone that gets played. So that's actually a built-in function. So tone 8 notes 0. Alright. And then tone function. So there's some more stuff there. You don't really need to. Alright, so that's that. And we gotta type up the rest. So else if key val. So it's pretty much, if you are good at coding, you like coding, hardware coding isn't any much different. It's just a different skill set, but as far as learning is concerned, it's learnable. So in this case, I'm just going to copy this. Copy, Control V. Oh, this is a Mac. Command V. And then Command V again. And all you have to do is just change this, the numbers 2, and this one will be 505. So hopefully there's no mistakes here, so that when I run it, it'll be smooth sailing. 5. Alright, 10. And then else no tone. So else no tone 8. Alright. That's for the outside. Okay. Looks good. Alright, so in this case, it looks good. I'm just gonna go check it out and
we'll continue from there.
Okay, just for the sake of time, I decided to just debug the code on my own. I'm sure everybody would have liked to see me debug code while they anxiously wait and see if the code actually works. So anyway, I fixed it up and now it works. It has no compiler errors, and as you can see, it's very similar to command line compiling with C. You can see, you can see, it'll just show up here if there's an error. So for example, just a quick example that this is really just the same stuff you've been doing in school. Verify. You click verify here just to check if the code is correct. There's no syntax errors. And so, as you can see, I introduced an error here. You type it I, and then you verify, and it compiles it, and there's no errors.
That's good.
So all that's left to do now is pretty much just upload it into the Arduino and see if our hardware and our software mesh together and produce magic. Okay, so for this part, to actually upload it, I need to actually show you connecting the Arduino Uno to the computer. So in this case, here's our Arduino Uno. We connect it to the computer, USB. And then from here, all you have to do is make sure from Tools, it's very similar to Windows, go to Port and then select Arduino Uno. And then from here, just select Upload. And it says compiling sketch, and there we go, done uploading. So this is the golden ticket here. So it's been uploaded, and you can see that there are additional lights on the Arduino Uno depending on what GPIO port you activated. In this case, it's A0 and 8 for the pulse width modulation. Alright, so now we can do a demo. So this should work. There we go. Alright, that's it. And there you have it. The Arduino piano project in a nutshell. Wasn't so bad, right? Okay, so thank you all for watching my presentation. I hope you learned something new. I hope you go out there and start your own Arduino projects. It's really simple.